YouTube, it's your boy Greg back again with another video. If you're new to this channel, we talk about fragrance related topics, so if there's something that you're interested in, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every single time I upload. Alright, so this video is going to be based off of a question that I received from a subscriber, and he asked if I can make a video for him or someone who's, you know, in their 40s, because he said he was 45 years old and he used to collect fragrances, but you know, he kind of slowed down. It happens to us, man. But just recently he's kind of got that edge again to where he wants to start to actually collect fragrances again. So he asked that I can make a video, I guess, just kind of giving him a few ideas on fragrances that's actually, you know, pretty popular today, or choose fragrances that I feel, you know, kind of fit today's time, you know, because if you used to collect back in the day and, you know, you kind of fast forward 20 years later, you know, things have dramatically changed, and just like everything else, the fragrance world has also changed. So today I have just a few fragrances that I feel will be a good start to a new collection as far as fragrances. But besides all that, let's go ahead and dive into this. Alright, so the first fragrance we're going to talk about is from the house of Maison Francis Kirk John, and it's Masculin Pluriel. Now, I chose this fragrance because, yeah, it is one of my favorite fragrances in my entire collection, but this fragrance right here is going to be that fragrance that you can actually wear as a signature scent fragrance. This is the fragrance that you can wear anytime, anywhere, any day. It's inoffensive, it's fresh, but it still has kind of like that fougere vibe. It's not like the 90s and the 80s. It's kind of a super modernized fougere type of fragrance, which makes it very easy to wear. It's not too strong. It's light enough for the office, but strong enough for other people to smell you, if that makes sense. You know, like I said, it has that fougere vibe. You know, it has lavender, it has vetiver, and it has an underlying sweetness to it, but it's not too sweet as far as like saying, oh, it's a gourmandish type of fragrance or a balsamic resinous type of fragrance. No, it just has an underlying sweetness mixed in with that vetiver and that lavender. That's why I chose this one, man. It's a perfectly balanced fragrance, easy to wear, don't really have to think about it. You can pick this up Monday through Friday and rock it with confidence. The next fragrance we're going to talk about is from the house of Mancera, and it's Cedrat Boise. Now, the reason I chose this fragrance is because if you're just now coming back into the fragrance game, I'm pretty sure you've been on YouTube looking up videos, and I'm pretty sure you've heard about Aventus, the king of Aventus, right? But let's just face it, that's a very, very expensive fragrance, and with all the reformulations and all that, that can really stress you out trying to jump into the fragrance game. You might be thinking, man, but I might want a 2016 bottle, a 2017 bottle, right? You don't have to worry about that with this. Why? Because this right here gives you that Aventus-ish vibe, right? But it's so different in its own way. I mean, honestly, I might even say that it's a little bit better because it's a little bit more unique in my opinion. Now, this one is a little bit more on the fruitier side. It's not like super smoky. However, you still do get that smoky vibe. So with this one, you're getting the smokiness that you get from Aventus, and you're getting that fruitiness, but you're getting a completely different fragrance. You know what I'm saying? So this right here is going to solve all that Aventus problems and trying to find a smoky batch and a fruity batch. If you want smoky, if you want fruity, go ahead and check this out. And I forgot to mention, this right here is a compliment getter, man. I'm telling you, this fragrance right here, when I wear it, people tend to actually go and order this fragrance immediately. I've had 3 people do that when they smelled this on me. So you want compliments, this right here is going to do that for you. Again, from the house of Mancera, Cedrat Boise. Alright, so the next fragrance we're going to talk about is from the house of Dior, and it's Dior Sauvage Elixir. Now, the reason why I put this in this video is because, like I said, if you're just jumping back into the fragrance game, I'm sure you've heard so much about Dior Sauvage, Dior Sauvage, Dior Sauvage. Man, it's everywhere. It's been everywhere since it was released in 2015. But this right here, because remember, we're talking about a guy who's in his 40s, you know, mid 40s. He's not old, he's not super young, you know, he's right there in that middle. And I feel like that's what Elixir is. Dior really, really fine-tuned the original Sauvage. The original Sauvage could kind of be a little bit youthful, you know, it's kind of one of those fragrances that you probably smell everywhere. People are going to smell like that all the time. But with this one having a little bit more of those spices, a little bit more of that sweetness, a little bit more of that fougere vibe that you kind of get from the 90s, it's kind of infused with a touch of 90s. You know, it's modernized, but just with a little touch of 90s in there. This right here is Sauvage for a grown man, and that's what you are. You're 45, you're in your 40s, even 50s. This right here is going to suit you right. You know, it's fresh. It still kind of has that shower gel feel. But like I said, it's infused with that 90s vibe. So you're getting that lavender, you're getting that vetiver, and then you got the spices up top, man. I'm telling you, this right here is so dense, so rich, man. And it's just so mature, man. This right here just really, really smells completely different from all the other Sauvages in my opinion. And last but not least, it lasts all day. 1 or 2 sprays with this and you good. So again, from the house of Dior, Sauvage Elixir. So the next fragrance we're going to talk about is from the house of Zaharoff, and it's Signature Rosé. Now, if you're just now getting back into the fragrance game and you hear rose, it's probably going to scare you away. Now, let me tell you, man, like coming back into the fragrance game, it has really evolved to where men are really not kind of, you know, checking for the super masculine fragrances all the time. We've kind of evolved into wearing fragrances that do have floral components in it. But with this fragrance right here, it's more of a masculine type of floral. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's infused with rose and it smells exactly like rose. When you first spray this on, it smells like an authentic rose. However, it's kind of rose surrounded with a balsamic resonant sweetness, man. And I'm telling you, it's so good. You know, when you first spray it, yeah, the rose is going to hit you in the face, but once it starts to dry down, man, that rose just really settles down, but it's still there. But like I said, it has that balsamic resonant sweetness surrounding it, and it just becomes such a beautiful, relaxing, calming type of fragrance, man. So if you're going to come back into the fragrance game, you want to kind of start somewhere with the florals, because you're going to come across fragrances that do have rose or any other type of floral notes, and you don't want to miss out on having a collection with depth just because you shied away from rose and other floral notes. So definitely check out Rosé from the house of Zaharoff. The next fragrance we're going to talk about is from the house of Jean-Paul Gaultier, and it's Le Parfum. Now, the reason why I put this in this list is because everybody and their mama already know about Le Male. You know, that was the fragrance back in the day, man. But you know, I'm not going to say it's played out. I actually still enjoy it, and I know a lot of people who do, right? But this right here is the more mature version of that, so they say. I think this is a little bit more on the ultra male side, but I still do get some of the Le Male DNA in there, you know. I mean, just Jean-Paul Gaultier, the DNA is here, but to me it smells more like ultra male, which to me smells a little bit better than Le Male. But this one right here is just a combination of both of those, man, and it's a little bit more mature. You know, it's one of those fragrances that you can kind of wear this out kind of like on a good night out. It's not like a serious night out, like a dinner or anything like that. This is kind of if you go to the club, you know what I'm saying, or you hanging out with the boys or something like that, and you kind of just want to wear like that sweet-ish kind of fragrance that's really going to project and everybody around you going to smell it. You know how people kind of said that Versace Eros was a club scent? Well, this right here to me is kind of in that same vein. You can say it's a club scent, but it still has a little bit of that matureness. You know, it's sweet, a little bit dark, got a little bit of spiciness going on, and I'm telling you, it smells good, good, good. So again, from the house of Jean-Paul Gaultier, Le Parfum. All right, so I'm down to the last fragrance, man, and this fragrance right here I saved for last because this fragrance right here is what I consider to be grown man juice, man. I'm telling you, this fragrance right here is so good, so mature. It's just like a grown man in a bottle, and it's none other than Pasha Cartier Parfum. Now, back in the day, you know, they had the original. I think it came out of like 92, 93, something like that. And you know, for today's fragrance world, that thing right there is not really what we checking for, man, at all. I'm telling you. But you still might like that if you're an older cat. So the purpose of this fragrance right here is to give you that same DNA, right? But it's surrounded by some balsamic resonance, some sweetness, some warmth, some coziness. You know what I'm saying? So the original is in here, right? It's just right there in that core, and it's surrounded by that sweetness. Like if you look at the bottle, that's exactly what it smells like. It just smells classy, classic, but at the same time, it's warm, it's cozy, it has that balsamic resonant sweetness. And the reason why I'm saying the balsamic resonant sweetness is because it doesn't have a gourmandish sweetness. It doesn't smell edible. It just kind of has like that ambery vibe, if you know what I'm saying. Like, just look at the juice. That's what it smells like. And it projects enough. It's a strong fragrance, but it projects enough. It's not going to really just, you know, kill people around you, suffocate people around you, or anything like that, man. I'm telling you, this is what you want to wear when you going out at night. You know what I'm saying? And you got a 3-piece on, got your nice gaiters on, and you trying to get your grown man on. Pasha, that Cartier Parfum is definitely going to suit you right in that type of situation. So you definitely want to check this one out. All right, so that's going to wrap up this video. Like I said, I chose fragrances that most people probably wouldn't choose for somebody who's just coming back into the fragrance game. But keep in mind, if you're a middle-aged guy, these fragrances right here is going to suit you right. They're not too youthful. They're not just too flat and just too basic. They all got some type of character and density to them. But even if you're a younger guy, you can still rock these. Definitely check these out. And what I want you guys to do is go down in that comment section and leave your ideas for anybody who's just now coming back into the fragrance game. If you like the video, go ahead and give your boy a thumbs up, and that's it. Take care. Peace.